Welcome back to our three-part series exploring South East Queensland beaches and the Fraser Coast. In this episode we take another ferry ride, but this time to arguably one of the best islands in Australia, Fraser Island. Once again we're racing the tides as we explore the east coast of the island. Stay tuned for four drives getting bogged, beautiful freshwater creeks, inland lakes, shipwrecks, and plenty of gorgeous views as we camp our way up the coast. First things first, we're going to whip up a quick brekkie on the Dominion here and catch the sunrise on the beach.
Alright guys, heading down to Inskip Point. The aim is not to get bogged at Inskip Point, but yeah, cracking onto the barge. What do you guys reckon?
Well, it is a bit of a renowned spot for everyone getting stuck, so we'll have to see how we go with this one.
Yeah, look, I'm putting money on myself getting bogged here, but anyway, we'll go with it.
Yeah, look, Fraser Island's been on my bucket list for a long time. So look, to be able to be here at Inskip Point, trying to bat across the place that so many people get bogged, look, very excited. Just can't wait to get out there.
Fingers crossed I don't need a Toyota recovery vehicle, hey?
Come on, Breeze, you're happy to get picked up by a Toyota again. It's, you know, Toyota 1, Nissan 0.
Yeah, I did enjoy the last time, mate, so hopefully not again, bud.
It's literally landing on the beach. It's like a military operation or something. You're in the sand and it's hard to explain, but you're in the sand and the next thing you're driving up this platform. It's no boat ramp. You're you know, it's real four-wheel driving. It's good fun.
There was literally no line, so we're straight on the barge, made it super easy.
I was a little bit apprehensive about getting on the barge. Haven't been on one before, but once you're on there, they guide you on. We were able to walk up onto the deck, have a look around. We could see Fraser as we're crossing across, and it was pretty quick really. It was about 10-15 minutes.
Geez, it's good to get some sand under the toes again, eh, Aaron? It's been a little while.
Yeah, it's been a whole about 10 minutes, but it's different. It's island.
It's island sand, so it's dream time sand.
Hey, how'd you go, Breeze? This is the first time on the island, isn't it?
Yeah, mate, it went pretty smoothly actually. I was pretty impressed with how easy it was to get on and off the barge and get onto Fraser for the first time.
So the tide is coming up. It was a funny tide time this morning, 3:30 a.m. So yeah, we didn't have too many options. We're just going to have to try and sneak our way up to camp up here.
We're already losing a fair bit of the beach here, so I know we're driving too much through the water, but let's try and time the waves. Hey Kemo, it looks a little bit different, mate, being on this side of the island to over at Inskip, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. First time on Fraser and I'm loving it already.
More fish over this side?
Yeah, that's the thing, mate. We'll have to see how we go there, but I'm definitely keen to show you boys up.
I'm still thinking Buckley's. The only thing I'm going to catch over here is a gold. Now, you're not wrong, this tide is coming in, isn't it? So we're going to hit up the inland track, which is cool. That's going to make for a bit of an adventure, but yeah, there was just the tide was coming up way too quickly. We're not going to risk it. We want to have a bit of fun on this trip, so we're going to head into the inland track, which should be really cool with the trailers. It'll be like following through on a sandy bush track. I reckon if these corrugations keep going, we'll be having scrambled eggs for breakfast.
Mate, I was just about to say, I hope you like your martini shaken, not stirred tonight.
Yeah, so if you can avoid the inland track, avoid it. The corrugations were terrible. Obviously big vehicles are going through there, which exacerbates those corrugations. It was bad. We had to slow right down in some points where it just took us forever.
So we've just made our way up the inland track We've had to do this because of the incoming tide. We didn't want to risk it along the beachfront with the vehicles, so made our way up the inland track as far as we can go. So we're going to go down to the beach, play some cricket and check out the tide. What do you reckon, guys? Yeah, let's do it.
So beach cricket with the boys, obviously had some time waiting for the tides and stuff like that. Great way to have fun, simple thing to pack in the ute, and great family activity as well.
It's Baywatch the retirement years.
How was it?
It was good. Something touched me though, I had to get out. A bit freaky, maybe jellyfish, I don't know.
What are we doing here, Aaron?
Just getting some kippies, mate.
Kippies.
Picking a few out, so if we get enough, we might even be able to boys thinking about putting them up.
Put them up.
Well, the tide's headed out a little bit, so we should have enough room to drive up the beach now. So we're going to head up, find camp, set up a little bit early today, which gives us time to just take the cars out and go for a bit of an explore, see what we can find.
Aaron, mate, just got through there. How's the water looking on camo?
Yeah, mate, she's definitely a bit dicey in a few spots, but hopefully we can get the whole crew through and get to camp.
So yeah, there's a few boggy bits. We're sort of back up on the high track now and just sort of cruising along. But yeah, I thought the tide would drop down a little bit quicker than that, but no, she's still got some good sized waves in it.
Yeah, it's definitely just the surf. You just got to keep your eye out there and watch the big waves coming in, and yeah, just time your way through.
Tell you what, you'd be in a pickle if the tide was actually coming up. We're fortunate the tide's going down and timed it that way.
So as we're driving along the beachfront, there's a few little creeks. Each one's different, so you've got to come up, definitely walk it first. We've got the crew ahead of us walking it for us, giving us the best line. Nice and slow through the water. It's probably a little bit brackish, so try not to get too much salt water up underneath the body of the trailer, so nice and easy. We've just got a little bit crossed up in the soft stuff, so both the van and the car have bogged down. I'm just going to quickly put the max tracks under, dig a bit of sand out, and see how we go and get back on the hard stuff.
Basically what happened was I'm steering the car up one track. There was another track that darted down the beach, so there's a bit of gravity involved in this. As I'm turning, basically turning the wheels or keeping the car moving, the camper decided that it didn't like the higher track that we were travelling on. It wanted to go on one of the lower tracks. It starts sliding down.
As you can see, it's with the max tracks, it's just popped the car up onto the max tracks, and then we've been able to reverse back onto the hard stuff.
Driving on the beach, it can be quite difficult, it can be quite easy. It all comes down to how you go about selecting what gears to be in, whether to be in high or low. You might be driving along in 4 high, and everything feels fine, you're looking at the beach, and the next minute you're bogged. The conditions can change that quickly. You need to constantly be assessing what's in front of you and watching vehicles in front of you. The way they behave tells you how you need to adjust your car and how you're driving. So we've just come off quite a hard section where we're in 4 high, and we've now gone to 4 low because the sand is a lot lighter and fluffier, and it just feels like the car's dragging a little bit. When you're in 4 high, that's putting a lot of strain on the car's engine and the car's gearbox. So by putting it into 4 low, the ratios change, meaning that the engine, you can use the torque of the engine a lot more effectively and not have as much strain on the gearbox and the engine.
Well, after beating the tides and getting bogged making our way further north, it's time to find camp. We've booked the Winnam camp and we arrived to find this gorgeous spot under the trees just behind a dune to protect us from those easterly winds. Typical camo, always sleeping on the job.
The best part about cooking a little bit of extra meat the night before over the with our lamb is that we've now got extras for lunch. So we're gonna use this with some wraps. We've got a bit of cheese, bit of hummus, some garlic aioli, and yeah, you can't beat that out in the bush.
Well, we've scored ourselves a crack of a campsite here. So we're sort of setting ourselves up. We're about to then go to do some exploring. We're planning to head to Lake Mckenzie. Before we do that, we're just going to quickly grab some grub and then head off.
So we're on one of the inland tracks heading towards Lake Mckenzie, which on Fraser Island is one of the big lakes. It's all naturally formed by rain and it's all filtered water, and apparently it's stunning, and we're looking forward to getting over there. But we're all actually having a hell of a time just on these inland tracks. They are so cool. They're twisty and windy. They're only one lane, so if you come across anyone else, you've got to find somewhere to dart in and sort of get out of the way. But bouncy, not really suitable for trailers, so leave them back at the campsite. But this is an absolute cracker. We're having an absolute ball. Everyone is actually along these little roads. Very bouncy, but a hell of a lot of fun and some absolutely epic trees. It's hard to believe. There is so much tree life and so much flora and fauna on this magnificent island.
Guys, I don't know about you lot, but I feel a whole lot cleaner and refreshed after a nice refreshing swim. So I reckon we hit the frog and toad and head back to camp and do a bit of a cook up.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good. How about you, Kenny? Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we're barreling along the beach, you know, getting a good pace going up. You can hear the waves crashing on our right, you know, you can see some dunes up on the left. Just, you know, cruising down these massive wide open sand dunes. It was unreal, you know, you'd get to a washout, you'd hope it wasn't a big one and you just roll through it. But yeah, it was insane, unreal experience.
Right, so we're having nachos tonight. So last night we had the air fryer out. We ran that off the 2000 watt inverter, cooking up a leg of lamb. Used about 40%. Tonight we got the induction cooktop here. We've got a 2000 watt induction cooktop running off the 2000 watt Enerdive inverter. Got the 200 amp battery in there obviously. And you know, this has been on only for a couple of minutes. Probably about 10 minutes we've been mucking around here. We've used roughly around 5% of the battery capacity. So this will be done. I'll put the sauce in a minute, and the boys will be able to heat up. Beauty of this is no flames. Don't have to worry about the wind. Cook anywhere, anytime.
We've just packed up here at Winnam Campground. It's in Zone 3 on Fraser Island. It's 2.2 kilometres long. There's magical little spots, just like this one here. It's sort of a shame to be packing up and heading north, but if you enjoyed yesterday, wait till you see what we've got in store for you today.
Alright guys, rolling out of camp. What a cracking campsite. Breeze, mate, 24 hours in. What do you think, Fraser?
To say I'm in love with it would be an understatement, mate. I'm absolutely loving it here. It's amazing.
Yeah, literally 24 hours we've been here, and it feels like, yeah, there's just so much to see and do. Hey Westy, how's it all going back there? Mate, I was, yeah, I'm blown away by the size of this joint. I thought, oh yeah, it's a sand island. There's, you know, won't be much, but like we were yesterday, Lake Mckenzie, that was insane. Nice. Well, we're tracking north. Sand is good. Tide's out. Looking pretty sharp ahead. A couple of fishermen on the beach, so we'll try and avoid them. But I reckon, judging by the weather and how we've set up, you know, how we've gone this morning, this is going to be an epic day. So we're just holding up, we're actually timing the wave. So we're running around a bit of a rocky outcrop at the moment. We don't want to get swamped, and we take it really, really nice and slow when we're actually driving through any watery bits. But yeah, we don't want to get swamped, so we're just going to time the waves, wait till we've got a gap, and then on through.
Mate, I'm going over.
Easy as that.
And we've been driving along the beach this morning. We've gone from having sort of the sand dunes on a side to now we've hit, I believe it's called Coffee Rock. So you've got these rock formations all along this edge of the beach. A few spots there, there's little waterfalls flowing over the rocks. It's a completely different type of spectacular. So it's going to be interesting to see as we go further along this trip. Is just to see how else the scenery changes. It's just like, spectacular is the only word I can think of to describe. It's just incredible.
At Eli Creek ahead of us, we've got a water crossing. There's not much of a water crossing we can do. There's sort of quite a lot of it was like really deep, but the one part that is sort of crossable is right down next to the surf. So we really have to watch our timing, watch the tide, watch the waves come in and out. So it's a matter of sort of taking it slow and steady. Really wait your turn, watch the waves as they come in out, and just get that timing right. And as soon as the waves wash out, just go for it.
There's a couple of very well-known landmarks on Fraser Island. We're visiting a few of them on this trip, and one of them that most of you would have seen is what's sitting behind me, and that's the Maheno. The Maheno was actually built in New Zealand, and it was in its working life down in the southern states of Australia. It had basically been retired. It had been working as a steamship for about 30 years. I think it was a hospital ship at one stage. And basically it was sold to the Japanese. So it was sold for, I think it was £15,000. The Japanese sent a ship down to pick it up, and they had a tow rope on it. They were towing it back up to Japan. The cyclone basically broke the tow rope. They called for help, but there was not much they could do. So the Maheno has come into Fraser Island, and pretty much this is where it's sat ever since. It's had an interesting life since then. So since 1935, it's been used for a whole lot of things, including a wedding on board. The Royal Australian Mail Service actually used it for testing a mail delivery method, and probably more commonly known is the Australian Army used it as a site for bombing practice. So they've made an awful mess of this ship. It was actually intact when it landed, and what the army, what the military didn't do to the ship, Mother Nature has taken care of the rest of it. So it's an incredible sight. The scale of it is just, yeah, you got to see it in person. It's a lot different in person than it is in pictures. You can get right up close. You got to keep about 3 meters away from it. But yeah, get this one on your bucket list and make sure you tick it off on your next Fraser Island trip.
But we thought, why not take the opportunity, the view of the Maheno in the background, to cook up a bit of a brekkie. Absolutely awesome spot to stop for brekkie.
Alright guys, so that was a cracking morning. Plan for the rest of the day is we're going to cruise north, find camp, actually set up camp. We should be there or easily by lunchtime. Set up camp, then later on this afternoon, we're just going to beat the tides this morning. Then later on this afternoon, we're going to scoot back to Eli Creek and have a swim. Yeah, it looked absolutely cracking when we passed it before Eli Creek. Righto guys, so camp's all set up now for a part of the trip that everybody has been absolutely busting for, and I know has been waiting for a long time for. So we're going to head down to Eli Creek.
Drop Kev, he's been stuck in the car all day, stinging the swim in Eli Creek. We're finally here, sun's about to come out.
Incredible.
Kev all day. Here we go, done, perfect. We're good to go.
Don't stand up, mate. You'll hit your head.
This is absolutely beautiful. It's nothing like I expected. Walking up that boardwalk, seeing the way the water flows down from what appears to be nothing, and hopping in on the floaties, was so much fun.
I fail on all fronts then. I can only beat that.
Yeah, that feels good.
You just ride down, paddleboards just float down, or floaties, if you know, whatever. It was, yeah, I was not expecting that. Like when they said, oh yeah, Eli Creek, it's near the water, I expected salt water, a little bit murky, not fresh water, crystal clear, and literally line in the sand's drawn. You've got the fresh water and then the salt water right near it. It was, yeah, it was pretty cool, pretty cool.
Wow, Eli Creek was an amazing spot. Definitely a bucket list location ticked off. We made it back to camp just in time to catch this phenomenal sunset. Now it's time for some good times, some cold beers, good mates and good tuck up. How good is it?
Well, these peanuts have walked all the way up to the top, and we've used technology to get the same view.
You have to agree with me, that was a big episode. From big barge to the big shipwreck, and obviously big Lake Mckenzie, where we had an absolutely cracking swim late in the afternoon. So much going on, so much to see and do in Fraser Island. Next episode, we're going to be heading a little bit further north. We're going to be crossing over Indian Heads. There may be a little bit of trouble in the sand, but you know, we'll see what we come across. So, mate, stay tuned. Thank you very much for watching and being part of our SCT adventure, and make sure you check out the next episode very, very soon.
Well, that car's in one piece. That car's in one piece. Beautiful.
So kids, what do you think of Lake Mckenzie? Did you like it? Oh, is that Kenny? Oh, you want to go to the creek tomorrow? Okay, righto, we'll do that. Yeah, I mean, I meant to do it. I had to show the boys how to, you know, recoveries and filming and, you know, that sort of stuff, as planned.
So we're following one of the inland tracks to Lake Mckenzie, which is one of the inland lakes in Cape York. So on an inland
Cape
track,
York.
I got distracted by them behind me. So,
Righto guys, so tonight we're having some tacos, I think. Righto guys, we're having mince tonight. Not mince, no. Guys, we're having tacos tonight. We had lamb. What do we have? Oh, we're having nachos, are we? Oh, I thought we were having tacos. Oh, all right. So we're having nachos tonight then.
we're having nachos.
Oh, righto, we'll go again. Right, so we're having nachos tonight.
Righto kids, we're here. We're at Eli Creek. You ready to get out? Righto, you've been good, so let's go. We'll go for a swim. We'll get the paddleboard out, okay? Righto.